spanning the globe. Through the power of the World Wide Web. It's Stacey and Steve's Cringe Fest. And now, here are your hosts, Stacey and Steve.
Here we go again, Cringers. I'm Stacey.
And that's Stacey.
And he's an interrupting cow.
Moo.
You know, it used to be really funny, but now that cow has a definition of some kind of negativity, it's like...
Really?
Is that really funny anymore?
Is there a negative? I mean, I've heard people...
You're so fat, you look like a cow?
Okay.
Calling a woman a heifer?
Or a cow or a whale or a buffalo or a sea lion.
Call me Al.
Sea lions get really chubby when they put their blubber on for the winter. Of course, being in Alaska, you're probably very familiar with animals putting blubber on. For bears do it. Whales, even little sea lion do it. Let's do it. Let's get blubber. Okay.
I lost weight. I don't want to get any more blubbery.
Yeah, I could power a lot of lamps.
We had a discussion about stuff like that when we were in the car that one day.
Yeah, we did.
What the human body is comprised of, cannibalism, all of that fun things that you talk about while you're on a road trip in Delaware.
Sure. Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Protein's protein, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that kind of protein can lead to mad human disease. There's a reason mad cow disease. It's the same thing, different mammal. Don't feed a blank to a blank. The body does not know how to deal with it. Like people who are like, I'm a vampire. Yeah? How much blood can you take in before you puke?
Now you need some fiber, vampire.
Oh my God. That is definitely an irregular system right there.
Yeah.
But it's so ridiculous. It's like your body is made to reject blood so that you know something's wrong with your body.
So how did we get on this topic?
I was going to get to that because what's really interesting is
there's no vampires
in the movie affects the blood infects the blood.
That's true. That's
with
true.
Plant plasma.
Hence the name Mutations.
The Mutations from 1974.
Here. Look at this one. I'm showing Stacey my kneaded rubber eraser art.
It looks like a frog.
No, it's a hippo. It's a hippo with his little hands clasped together. It's like a praying hippo.
Pray you never get into it with a hippo, because those things will kill you dead.
Oh man, when we lived in Oklahoma, we'd go to this zoo in Wichita, Kansas, which is a really cool zoo because it's not too big. You can push a stroller all the way around it without killing yourself. But they have this pool that has the hippos in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can walk down into this underground thing with big glass panels and watch the hippos from below water level.
Mm.
It is so cool. They swim like dolphins. I mean, they're elegant as they swim around. And then they get up on land and they got all this mass and stuff. It's hard for them to walk around. Yeah. That was really cool.
Polar bears do that at the zoo here.
And the hippos knew that, like, if there was a kid watching them, they'd come over and open their jaws really wide at the window, and the kids would freak out. I think the hippos enjoyed that. Those great big round teeth,
Those things are vicious. People die more from hippos than sharks.
Yeah. That swim with the hippos Caribbean adventure you and I were planning on. No wonder nobody would invest in it with us.
Well, I sent you the picture of the cartoon from my calendar, the $10 swim with the dolphins.
Oh, yes.
Guys kicking the tour guides kicking the guy off the pier saying they were over there. Yeah, what do you expect for $10?
You've seen these like shark encounter things, right? Where you pay money and they take you out in the ocean and let you swim around with sharks.
Yeah, that would never happen in this household.
Well, I'm with Steve here with the I know that sharks are a problem for him. Definitely are for me. I just can't imagine. I mean, if somebody was going to pay me, they said, we'll give you $10,000 if you'll go out and swim around with these sharks and you're probably not going to get eaten. I would probably do that. But to pay money for the privilege
of putting yourself in
not
danger,
dying or the hope of not being eaten by a shark. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
No sharks in this movie, were there?
No sharks in this movie. A lot of plants. A plant that breathes, because why not?
Because it's a mutation.
Why don't you give us a breakdown of the movie before we start going into the weird trivia about this movie?
All right. So this movie is called The Mutations or The Freak Maker. I'm not sure which of those titles is more offensive. What did you say?
I know, right?
The genetically modified, right?
Yes, because you keep using that word. I do not think
keep using that word.
It means what you think it means.
Yeah.
Genetically modified, not a mutation.
So let's see. There is a genetic physicist played by Donald Pleasance. Boy, Donald Pleasance. I mean, I've seen him in other movies and stuff. I knew he was like a big, what do they call it? What is it? West End, where the theaters in London are. He was, big stage actor for decades. So I looked him up. He was a World War II fighter pilot, got shot down over Germany, spent the rest of the war in a POW camp. Horrible condition.
Survived to make this shit show.
And then goes on and makes this movie. But while he was in Stalag 2, he organized musical plays for the POWs to perform for the guards and stuff. So they were treated pretty good. They were entertaining.
I mean, that's actually really smart. If you want to get on the guards' good sides, you entertain them.
That's a theater kid in prison. Yeah, I love that. I could not remember. I knew his name and I couldn't, put it together. Anyway, Professor Noelter, the deranged genetic scientist played by Donald Pleasance. So he wants to progress human evolution. And he's like crossbreeding plants and animals. He's like feeding guinea pigs to giant Venus flytraps. And
it was a bunny.
Yeah, there were bunnies, and there were bunnies.
And then there was a rat with like plants coming out of it.
Was the grossest thing. So the quote is, he wants to create a race of plants that can walk and men that can take root. I don't know why you'd want
kind of like a feed a man or teach a man to fish.
Yeah,
versus give a man to fish.
Right. Now the plants are going to walk around, and the men are just going to be like, or the humans are just going to be like rooted. I don't know. So he has lots of failures in his research. He gives them to Mr. Lynch, played by the unflappable Tom Baker.
My favorite and my first Doctor.
Me too.
Never forget your first.
I've watched very little Doctor Who after that Tom Baker run, because I thought I kind of like the old guy that was there before him, but Tom Baker was the best.
Yeah.
He was by far the best. He had that little sarcastic tone.
And he had the goofy alien. When the doctors are Daleks, more alien to me.
Yeah.
That's the best. Like Peter Capaldi did a really good job of making the Doctor an alien again.
Yeah.
Where with Matt Smith, it was the goofy cute guy. David Tennant was the sex.
Yeah, so now you're into like modern times, right? Yeah.
Anyway, so
Heather's. I think it was Heather. If not, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Somebody,
you stop playing with your eraser because it looks really dirty.
Oh, this I'm rubbing my ball here. See,
I know. Stop.
I'm making a ball out of my little ball of clay. All right, I'll put it down. Heather, I think Heather sent me she sent me a sequence of which order to read the Discworld books, which is very complicated. It's a very complicated chart and stuff. And
do you know that my first month of living with Steve, I got that chart?
Really?
He has all the books.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Heather actually drew this thing out and put a lot of work in it. And,
Anyway.
coming from Heather, it's going to be gorgeous and you want to frame it, put it on your wall, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think it was Heather gave me a key to the Doctor Who series and which order
that doesn't surprise me at all
to watch them in. Anyway,
we
we've
love
talked
you,
about
Heather.
Tom Baker too much. Tom Baker plays Mr. Lynch in this movie. He's the proprietor of I'm going to use that word. He's the proprietor of a freak show act in a circus, circus sideshow.
Well, you kind of have to use that term because
I think we're just going to have to say it. And
if you don't,
so let's just
you miss one of the key parts in the end of the movie.
Let's just issue a blanket apology right here. We're going to say the word freak.
Yeah.
We're sorry. We don't have a better word right now.
We're also going to use the word mutant. We understand it's genetically modified. We apologize in advance.
Yes, exactly. Because we do really attempt to be politically correct on this shit show.
No, this movie does not hold up. So Continue on, my friend.
But, it's not that old. I mean, 1974. It's not like 1950,
No, but still, there are movies from like 3 years ago that don't hold up.
Oh, well, yeah. From that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Baker runs this act. He's horribly mutated himself.
Deformed. He's actually deformed. He's really not mutated.
Deformed face, and the mutation doctor keeps kind of leading him on, telling him he's going to fix him. I don't think that ever happens. But
no, because
these participants in the freak show, which are all the classic characters. If you've ever been to one of those sideshows, I don't know if they even still have them.
I doubt it, but they've been so portrayed in movies and TV shows. We all know there's the bearded lady.
There's the bearded lady. There's the alligator skin boy. There's the guy that can Popeye that can bug his eyes out. There's the bearded woman.
Or the rubber man who
the guy
having bones in his legs, that kind of thing. Yeah. And a lot of these people are small people. They're little people.
A lot of little people, yeah. And that's really the primary cast of the movie is these actual circus performers.
The hard part about and I don't envy you on this, and I put it in my review. There are two storylines in this movie. Dr. Frankenstein and his monster.
Yeah, no, go ahead. But it wouldn't surprise me if those two storylines were filmed completely independent of each other and edited together. The only
it could have actually, yeah.
The only crossover is Tom Baker.
Mm-hmm.
We never see any of those other people in the same.
Well, it was 6 weeks of filming, so.
You in your review of this movie, which is out on CringeFest.com, just scroll down and you'll see our reviews on the homepage.
Mm-hmm.
At the top, you'll also see our links to our social media, to our merch store, our collection of poetry. Please send us more poems.
Yeah.
I'm loving the poetry that we've gotten. I would like to have more poems. Where else on the internet can you publish a poem? Seriously. Besides anywhere.
For free.
Yeah. And then we've started developing drinking games.
Yeah.
But right now I've only got like one or two out there. We have more, but.
Yeah.
But yes, participation is greatly encouraged. 401-400-2086.
96.
What?
2096.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's literally ripped off of the poster that you shared on the website.
Yeah,
that's CringeFest.com. Has tear off Howard's Dale Clams phone numbers. It's 401-400-2096.
Okay. I've probably been checking the voicemail on the wrong phone number. So if you have left us a voicemail and I've missed it, it's because I got the number wrong.
Or you can text us. It's kind of fun.
You can text us. You can email us, sscringefest@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Facebook.
So what's interesting about this movie?
Oh, you want to talk about this movie? All right.
Yes.
I want to.
One of the partner in the freak show, Michael Dunn, who plays Burns. I kept going, I know him. Where do I know him from?
Yeah.
He's from one of the most iconic episodes of Star Trek, the original series. He plays the slave to the Greek god, where Kirk and Uhura, yes.
That's right. It's where they have their first.
Unfortunately,
one of the first interracial kisses on broadcast television.
It was the first, and
was it the first?
Yes,
I knew it was among.
Gene Roddenberry snuck a whole bunch of shit into his show.
My favorite thing, and everybody knows the story. They told him he couldn't show a belly button, so he made an alien with 2 belly buttons.
Yeah,
he's like, you. Okay, I won't show a belly button. Yeah. I'll show a pair of belly buttons.
You don't have any rules against it's like Penn and Teller, the first fully nude men on stage in Las Vegas.
On the Las Vegas Strip. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, tell me I can't do it.
Okay.
Anyway.
So yeah, like you said in your review, there's the monsters, the Venus fly, the bunny eating Venus flytraps, things like that. And then there's the plight of these circus freaks.
Now, I have to say the costumes for the genetically modified. Again, last time.
Circus
That's
freaks.
The last time I'm going to say it.
We're going to call them circus
mutated
freaks.
People.
We're going to do that to the end of this podcast. And
then so the mutated people, the half plant people, one of the main characters goes missing, and she turns out to be the lizard woman, but she dies. So Brian, I think, is the main man character who gets. If you watch the preview, there's a thing with cabbages on his hands. That's the only mutation that survives.
The cabbage-handed man.
Yeah, the cabbage hand. But he does. If you look at it, they look like cabbages.
You know what happens if he swims in salt water, like in the ocean? His hands turn into sauerkraut.
Kimchi.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Kimchi, man.
Kimchi bad.
So this was all these costumes and props were made in 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the props being primarily the savage mutant plants.
Yeah.
The freak show characters pretty much are just doing their show.
Oh yeah. Those are.
And there's a long passage where they come out one by one and introduce themselves. And I've been to that show. I know that exactly what it's like, to sit in those seats. And then they get to the end and usually it's something kind of racy. Now we're gonna show you the woman with 3 breasts, but you got to pay another $1.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's exactly the same. And like I mentioned on the last podcast, I know I have met some of these people when I was 7 or 8 years old. I especially the Popeye guy who spoke to me at a Woolworths and popped his eyes out. And I didn't sleep until like 4th grade.
I think it was Aleister Crowley who, in one of his books, because I read about 2 of his books, was upset with the fact that, if you have a deformity or some kind of genetic issue, that was really, if you couldn't do a normal job, that's how you made money back in the day. Like, he was against taking people out of the freak show. He's like, this is how these people can make money off of what the hand they were dealt with, and it was kind of an interesting perspective because you don't think about the other side of it. You don't think this is how they made their money. Yeah,
no, it was their jobs, right? But what other jobs were there? I mean, this is a time also.
This is before American the ADA,
right?
Yeah,
and there were no jobs for for people, that nobody would hire them,
Yeah.
So that circus life was their life. And I think they give a pretty nice, the movie is not designed this way, but I think you get a feeling for those traveling freak shows.
In that one wagon. Yeah, the one wagon. And they're all sitting around and someone's stirring a pot on the stove and people are drinking coffee. Or like the birthday party, which to me is a pivotal moment because, Tom Baker's character comes in and they're celebrating someone's birthday and they're like inviting him gently, like not mean, just inviting him. And then he goes on a Frankenstein's monsters tirade and destroys the set.
Yeah. Right.
And then they start saying One of Us.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they get their revenge on Lynch at the mansion.
But none of that's really
spoiler alert. He gets eaten by very friendly German shepherds. If you know your dogs, you know that these dogs are extremely happy and they're just trying to play.
Huh. There is very little plot here. There's nothing critical to tell you about this plot. You might want to watch it from a historical context. If you're going to pop up a bowl of popcorn and sit down and try to enjoy a movie,
this is not the one you want.
No, this isn't it. But anyway, I did just look up, and I always give you hell for doing this, but I looked up Aleister Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea who this person was. An English occultist, philosopher, poet, painter, novelist, mountaineer, and ceremonial magician.
He was one of the first Satanists.
What is a ceremonial magician?
So
is that like what do they call them? No, it's not. It's just somebody who plays the pomp and circumstance. If you're gonna make me, basically his philosophy was, if you're gonna make me a blank, I will. Did you? Okay. You watched? No, wait. You watched? Good costumes. What you're saying?
Hold on. What was the TV show? Alfred. Pennyworth. You watched Pennyworth, right?
I have not watched. I've only watched the first couple of episodes.
Okay, because at the
they got a ceremonial magician in that one.
Aleister Crowley is played as a character in that show. All
right, I'll go back.
And I think that would give you a really great idea of.
All right, so I kind of get it. Okay. By the way, while we're talking about TV, have you watched Mrs. Davis yet?
Not yet.
Will you promise me you will watch it?
Yes.
Because it's got magic. It's got magic. It's got Jesus. It's got
because this is the nun, right? This is the nun one.
It's got a nun. Betty Gilpin plays a nun, very hot nun, makes you have all kinds of bad feelings. Anyway, all right. So back to this movie. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you're like.
There's not even a good drinking game for this one. Honestly, I'm just.
No, I mean you could like every time a Venus flytrap eats a rodent,
a rabbit. Yeah.
But no.
Every time somebody says freak show,
if you're a film buff like Stacye and I are, I think it's worth seeing from just an historical context. This is a movie made in 1974 that should have been made in 1946.
If you miss your high school science films, the first half hour.
Oh, that's
feels
true.
Like the first half hour.
That's true.
Because Steve watched
they
this
just show
halfway
this stock
with us.
footage of what do they call it? Fast motion biology kind of films, right?
Yeah, it was definitely something we've seen.
Flowers coming out.
It was so
they got that from
I think Steve noped
Scholastic Books Company or something.
I think Steve noped out when they started adding the freak show component to it.
Yeah.
Because he decided to do the dishes about a third of the way in. He was like, okay, I'm done. Have fun, you guys.
Yeah, right. But we have to, for art, we have to finish it. Have we ever turned a movie off?
remember New Nuns with Big Guns? You had the power outage, and we had like four.
Oh, that's right. I had a power outage. We didn't
discussions.
intentionally turn it off, but we.
That was the one I was falling asleep to.
I had
There
a
was
power
another
outage,
one that-
and we were
that you
both
had a power
greatly
outage.
relieved. Right, we were greatly relieved that I'd had that power outage, and we
Yeah.
went back and finished it. Though
No, New Nuns with Big Guns. I was falling asleep. It was redacted that you had the power outage.
was it okay?
Yes,
We
I
never
remember
talked
for a
about that.
fact because we had to
Don't-
have so many serious discussions about that
Don't
freaking
bring
movie.
that was a
Um.
that was
So speaking of,
I mean that was like offensive pre Me Too.
yeah,
It was offensive. Yeah.
and that was the one you had the power outage on.
Okay.
It was Nude Nuns with Big Guns I was falling asleep to because it was so slow.
But I think we've always finished, no matter how bad, we've always made sure we finished the movie.
Kind of like the movie I just made you watch that we're going to tease
for
right now.
God's sakes. Yeah, next week.
I tricked Steven to a musical.
What was the movie called?
Repo!
Exclamation point.
The genetic opera.
Oh my God. It was so bad. It was a musical, a horror musical.
Lots of blood.
Got my chainsaw, got my gun, gonna kill some mutant, be lots of blood.
Well, so
it was so bad. I think I said this in the last podcast. I don't like musicals. They break my brain when people just break into song.
And we have rule number 1.
Yeah. So we did watch that to the end, and I still have to write a review for that, and I don't know how. I think I'm going to write a musical review. I think the one
that you sent me in a text was great. I loved that one.
Did you like that one?
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. Yeah, it's a very long song, though. By the way, it was way too long for my review, so I got to pad it out. I want to connect it with a karaoke kind of track, so people can read the review and sing along. And then maybe they could record themselves singing it and text it to us.
Oh, dear God.
401-200-9096.
I would
play it.
I think if somebody did that, I would send them a Alaska gift box.
They would definitely be getting some Cringe Fest merch.
Oh yeah, swag out the wazoo.
Yeah, it would be Swagville. That's all I got to say about this movie. How about you?
The Mutations, yeah, I think
it was bad.
If you're gonna put a movie on in the background, do Cocaine Bear. We're still gonna podcast it
eventually.
Yeah, but
if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Stacey didn't like it. I
liked it. I thought it was funny.
Okay. Well, your review was pretty harsh.
My reviews are always harsh. We watch shitty movies for a part-time job.
But Cocaine Bear wasn't I don't think it was a shitty movie. I think it was a cute story. It's much like E.T.
I fucking hate E.T. E.T. can eat a bag of fucking dicks.
Really?
I hate E.T.
You don't like E.T.?
Fuck no.
How do you feel about Reese's Pieces?
They're okay, but I'm allergic to... Well, I'm sensitive to peanut butter. Sensitive to peanut
butter. All right. So even if you had a big bag of Reese's Pieces, you wouldn't sit down and watch E.T.
My mom even tried to read me the book to teach me that he is a young botanist who just got stuck on a planet.
It's a torso from the waist down. Okay. Yes.
Okay, Cringers. Until the next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep that algorithm guessing and never be afraid of clicking on that movie because it might be a musical to drive your best friend insane.
And I listen. I'm a little traumatized to learn that Stacey doesn't like E.T. and I think some of you might be too. So if we need to form like our own little support group where we can talk through this, where we can come to terms with the fact that Stacey doesn't like E.T. What do you think about the Wizard of Oz? Bambi, Dumbo,
fuck Bambi.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're getting there. I think I'm beginning to see a pattern emerge. So again, if you're as traumatized as I feel right now, I suppose we should put a trigger alert on this podcast.
I swear, if I'm gonna, one of these days, I'm gonna get a random package with my hyphenated name, which is the only time I get hyphenated names from Amazon is from you.
Oh, really?
Just a book of things I hate. Just a book.
I just want you to have I want you to get a spiral notebook, and every time you have that feeling, boy, I hate this, you just write it down. And I think
it would be full.
I think it'll be a best-selling New York Times bestseller.
It will be full in a week. No, it will. It's so
Stacye
funny because
does like to say the H word.
The H word?
Yeah, hate. There's a lot of things you hate. 90% of the other drivers on the road you hate.
Not 90%. It's the 10% who try to cross 4 lanes in the middle of rush hour.
See, here it comes. Here comes the hatred. It's just like it pours out of you at the right time.
You drove with me. You never driven when I'm behind the wheel. Well, in life.
That was not going to happen.
No, I don't want to drive.
Mother. But you swear at the other drivers with the same tone that you use with your dogs who you love. You love your dogs dearly, but like
I'm
last
a
night,
Buddhist. I love everybody equally.
You're full. That's my point. You're full of love.
I am.
Express it in a real scarier way sometimes.
With lots of 4-letter words.
You're trying to cook last night, and the dogs kept wanting to come in the kitchen, and it was like, Speedy, you little motherfucker.
Get the fuck out of the kitchen. Why are you in the kitchen? I did not tell you to come in. The soup turned out great, by the way. I didn't like the idea of the chowder, though.
Well, again, we're going to have to work on that. You did have Maryland crab soup. Did you have cream of crab?
Yeah, I had the cream of crab.
See, there you go. There's where you went wrong.
Draga had the other ones, so I got to try hers.
You got to try hers?
I got one of each.
So the traditional Maryland crab, not the cream of crab soup, is so much better. It's chunky and rich and hearty. The other stuff it's the same stuff thrown in the blender, and it's got a can of cream of mushroom soup.
Actually, I liked the creamy one better than I liked the other one.
I knew you would. No, that's my point. Yeah. Same reason you don't like chowder, but you like chowder after it's been like ground up in the food process. For me personally, a cheddar broccoli soup should have pieces of broccoli for the fiber, because we know that fiber is very important, kids. And yeah, no kidding. Try going without it for a week.
But see, chunks of broccoli and chunks of potato. Potato doesn't seem to really reheat well because it just falls apart because you've already cooked it once. So I just threw that fucker into a food processor and here's the weird thing. I have a blender and a food processor. If I get the blender out, Speedy loses his mind. But if I get the food processor out,
I've got a knife
and
a hammer. I can food process anything.
But he's fine with the food processor. He freaks the fuck out when it's a blender.
Well, I mean, listen, we know that he's not all. Of course. I know. And we love him dearly.
And Dexter's nothing but a big old doofus. Well, little old doofus.
Dexter's
little young doofus.
A tiny little round doofus, although not as round as he used to be.
No, he's also a lot of weight.
So, yeah, just put him on a strict diet.
I put him on a diet, and he gets tons of exercise with Speedy in the yard.
Yeah. Because
they chase cars. And then my next door neighbor has a daycare. So when people are picking up and dropping off, that's Dexter's corner right there. He loves right there. And Speedy will chase the cars up and down the front. And what's really funny is it's like, little dog, what would happen if you... Oh, so I'm trying to get the dogs inside. And I'm kind of playing with them because I know if I play them...
Welcome to Dog Talk. It's 8:32 in the morning here on the National Broadcasting System.
So I'm out there and I'm trying to get them.
With Dog Talk. On the phone, we have Stacye from Alaska who wants to talk about her.
If you keep interrupting me, the story's going to take a hell of a lot longer.
Go ahead, caller.
First time caller, last time never.
I was so hoping you'd say that.
So
perfect.
I'm playing with the boys, and there's this silver Subaru type looking car, and this guy rolls his window down. That's an older gentleman. He's like, "Hi guys, how's it going? All right." And then I'm come up and he goes, "Oh, I just always have to say good morning to them, but I gotta go. Okay, bye." And so it's just this older guy who
that's actually pretty cute.
It was so friggin' adorable. It's just this older guy on his way to work, really likes rolling down his window.
In front of your house, rolls down the window.
Good morning to the dogs.
Says good morning to your dogs. That is great. That is phenomenal.
Okay, because the neighbors across the street, Sig and his mom's older. She's in her 80s. And Zig will set her up in the living room before he goes to bed because he works nights. He'll set her up in the living room by the window, open the window so she can watch the dogs. She loves the boys.
Well, that's what Lily and Eddie do all day.
Eddie is just the coolest. He's such a sweetheart.
Isn't Eddie cool? You got to meet Eddie the dog.
See, what's funny is I always thought Eddie was...
he reminds me of like a beatnik. You know,
cool. He's like a lab. He's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
When you talk about how much of a sweetheart he is, I'm just thinking a cute little bundle of joy. He's a big little bundle of joy.
No, he's a great big guy, but he's just adorable. And
I love Liv and Seal. Liv and Seal are the cutest.
They are.
They are awesome.
Yeah. And Eddie, I'm
gonna have to send some Alaska treats and make sure that Eddie gets some too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, send him some caribou bites. He often meets me in my garage, and because sometimes Lily's in the car with me, but very, very infrequently. But he'll meet me in the garage.
Watching her get into the car when we were going to Baltimore, I had to carry this poor little shaking dog because it was raining really heavy. She wanted to get in the car.
She loves to go in the car.
And I'm carrying this damp dog who does not want to go into the house, back into the house.
She didn't want you to leave.
She didn't want us
Definitely
to leave.
Didn't want Steve to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was sad. But if I come home, Lily's not in the car, Eddie runs to my back door and just sits down and cries until I bring Lily out and he can see that she's okay and everything's fine. And then he just goes home. He just okay, dude, I'm good.
It's like when we were barbecuing. Where's Lily? I don't know where Lily is. Oh, she's probably in the house. Oh,
yeah, then I get a text saying, Lily's over here.
At literally the same time as me going, where's Lily?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, she escaped through our open fence while we were bringing fire.
I was going to say, yes.
And just goes to Liv and Seal's house and stands by the door, and they let her in, and she sleeps on their couch. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Boy, this has been a really boring podcast. We've talked about dogs and all kinds of
freaks and mutants and plants, and
but that was
to some other stuff, and then it goes on tirades. Yeah. I said goodnight 10 minutes ago.
Stacey's already said goodnight, so now it's my turn to say goodnight. Good night. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry. No, see,
right.
There's a Monty Python reference you didn't get. You usually get them.
Yeah. I know the Bring Out Your Dead.
What totally blew me away was when you got my Letterkenny references.
And that's the funny thing is I've never seen, I've seen little bits and pieces when Steve is watching it. But Steve watches it, so that's how I know. Okay.
Well, you should watch it because you could learn how many people it takes to fuck an ostrich. It takes about 3 seasons for them to work that out. A lot of serious discussion, a lot of science, a lot of physics goes into that.
We just finished Chicago Doom, but it's the Chicago season.
Ugh, another one of those singing, dancing.
Oh, come on. You liked it. You thought it was fun. We watched the whole first season.
I was being a good host. And yes, we watched the first whole season. And you should see what the algorithm tells me I like now.
Take that.
Oh, paint your wagon. Oh, I can't wait to see that. State
7 brides
Fair.
for 7 brothers?
Woo, 7 brothers. Yeah, right. Yeah. And Dexter's Laboratory and
It
this
wasn't Dexter's Laboratory. We were watching Rick and Morty.
No, this is what it's recommending to me now.
Oh.
Because you like Rick and Morty, you'd like Dexter's Laboratory. And
That rhymes too.
yeah, right.
That's funny.
I mean, just all kinds of stuff. Oh, you watch The Big Bang Theory. You should watch Young Sheldon. Oof. I never really watched The Big Bang Theory, and I certainly don't want to know this the advanced story. Yeah. It'll get cleaned up. It'll be full of all blood and guts and bloody chainsaws and stuff like that.
No more musicals.
Soon. The musicals will age off. Good night, Stacye.
Good night.
Good night. I will see you in my dream.
I'm sorry.
Again, we watch these scary movies and we do these podcasts.
When you deal with somebody on a part-time job level, you do start, and then once you actually face to face, it cements that personality in your mind.
I mean, I think our cycles are syncing up.
Oh, how many times have we made the same dish in like the 24-hour period?
Yeah. All right. Good night, sweetheart.
Night.
Stacye and Steve's Cringe Fest is a production of Howard's Day Old Clams. Like, share, and review us on your favorite podcast service. Our music was composed by Tony Longworth. Email us at sscringefest@gmail.com. Text us or leave us voicemail at 401-400-2096. I'm Hal, your announcer, wishing you peace and love.
I fucking hate E.T. E.T. can eat a bag of fucking dicks.